Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter's Movie Reviews. And today I want to talk about the newest Conjuring movie that just came out. The last Conjuring movie. Supposedly it's going to be the last Conjuring movie. The Conjuring Last Rites. And my husband and I went and saw the movie yesterday. I was really excited to see this. We actually were thinking we were going to go see The Strangers, and then I looked online, and The Strangers, the new chapter 2 of The Strangers, had gotten such bad reviews that I told my husband, I said, no, if we're going to go to the movie, we got to go see something good. So I was like, let's go see The Conjuring. You love The Conjuring movies. I love The Conjuring movies. Let's go get our popcorn, get our sodas, and go check out The Conjuring. So we did. And I was not disappointed. Now, I am not going to spoil this for you guys because I think that anybody that loves paranormal horror or anybody that loves the Conjuring franchise should definitely see this movie. I was pleasantly surprised with it, left really enjoying the movie, thought it was scary, didn't think it was the scariest movie I'd ever seen, didn't think it was the scariest in the Conjuring franchise, but I thought that it was good. I have seen, I think, almost all of the movies in the Conjuring franchise. I have also seen the Devil's Rock Chair at the Zach Bagans Haunted Museum in Las Vegas, Nevada. No, it did not start rocking. We could get like close to it, but you couldn't touch it. They had it like behind this thing. So I was excited about this. Now, I have to tell you, going into it, until we were almost there, I did not know that it was the last one in the franchise. We were on the way there, and my husband said, this is the last one of the Conjuring movies. And I said, it is? So I kind of went into it knowing that, but being a horror movie fanatic, I love horror movies. By the way, if you are also a horror movie fanatic, in the next couple days, I will be announcing my Halloween watch-along where I pick a franchise, a horror movie franchise, and then we all watch it during the month of October for Halloween. Last year, we watched all the Halloween movies, so it won't be that. Halloween is my favorite horror movie franchise. Friday the 13th, we watched all of those. So I have a good one picked for this year, and I'm really excited. But anyway, as a horror movie fanatic, and I love horror movies, I know that they'll say, this is the last one, and then 3 years later, they put out another one. So I'm never really convinced. And even when I saw the end of this movie, which does end conclusively, I thought, there could still be another one. They could, pull out something from, 1980, another investigation they did. So even though they say that it's the very last one, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. But I think that they've decided that this is going to be the end of the franchise. And I will tell you before getting into this, that I thought that if it is the end of the franchise, if it is the last Conjuring movie, I thought that it ended very well. I thought it ended on kind of a, dare I say in a horror movie, a poetic or beautiful note, the way that they did it. It was kind of in a way that I've never really seen a horror movie franchise end before, the way that they did it. And it was very true to, it was done through the eyes of Lorraine Warren, and it was kind of explained like what happens after this investigation for the rest of their lives and stuff like that. And I loved how they did it. I thought it was really well done. It was very sentimental. So let me explain to you a little bit about what this movie is about. So when the movie starts, it starts in 1964, and I believe it's 1964. And Ed and Lorraine Warren, who, if you guys do not know who they were actually a very real couple that were some of the first, not the first, but some of the first people to introduce the idea of paranormal investigation into real scientific research and things like that. They were some of the very first in the United States paranormal investigators. And so in 1964, they were investigating this. They don't really go into a lot of it, but it was about this woman, and there was a mirror involved. And at the time, Lorraine Warren was pregnant. And so during the middle of the investigation, something happens and they have to rush her to the hospital. And this is all within the very first few minutes of the movie, so I'm not ruining anything for you. But the baby almost doesn't make it, and they end up having a daughter whose name is Judy, which if you watch a lot of my videos, it's kind of a joke name on my video. If I ever like make up a name, I always say Judy Smith. So as soon as they said, oh, Judy, I started laughing in the movie. But anyway, so then it flashes forward, And it's 1986, and Ed has had a heart attack. And so they have stopped doing the investigations because Ed has had this heart attack. And so the investigations bring on a lot of stress and things like that. So they aren't investigating anymore. And they kind of show this. The movie is really about Judy. I loved that they focused the last movie in the franchise about the daughter, okay? So most of the movie is focused on this last investigation that they did, and Judy's kind of at the center of it. And what it is it's about this demon that was around in 1964, okay, around the time that Judy was born, that's always kind of wanted Judy, wanted like to demonically get her, and then comes back in 1986. And so in 1986, they are not doing any investigations. They are at home, living their best life. They're going around and they're touring. They're doing like school presentations and college presentations. Nobody's really showing up to them. They're thinking about writing a book. They don't really know what to do, but they've kind of stopped doing all their investigations. They have their room at home. Judy is like, she's grown up, she's dating this guy, and so Judy starts getting interested in this case. And at the same time that all of this is going on, there is this case in Pennsylvania of a possession case of this Catholic family. I think they're an Italian Catholic family that there's like 8 of them, the grandparents, that there's like 4 daughters, and the parents are all living in this house together. And the mirror is brought into the house, and then the house is starting to be haunted, and they are all being affected by this. And so that is the story that then kind of like through Judy, Ed and Lorraine Warren like start investigating. So the first half of the movie is really about the haunting that is going on with this family, which I'll be honest with you, okay, which is about the haunting that's going on with this family, and then really about Ed and Lorraine Warren and their daughter growing up. So it kind of goes back and forth between the two. The second half of the movie is the bringing to of the 2 stories and the solving of the case. I thought it was brilliantly done. I thought it was really, really well done. I was even thinking, like, if I was at home, I probably would be a little scared watching it. I don't know why. I wanted to look this up, and I didn't look it up. It almost felt to me, like I am a lover of the original Poltergeist with Jo Beth Williams from way back in the day. I remember seeing it in the movie theater when I was a kid. There were elements of this haunting case that happened in Pennsylvania that apparently was a true investigation that happened. There were elements of that really reminded me of Poltergeist, the movie. And I almost wondered if they didn't pull the story Poltergeist, which took place in California, on top of like a cemetery, if it didn't take place, because they talk in this house about the land that it's built on, and I won't ruin it for you, but they talk about where the land is built, or the house is built, and that the demons that are there come from the land, but they talk about the same thing in Poltergeist. There's elements of a TV in this investigation. Like, it's not like the girl gets taken by the TV like in Poltergeist, but there's elements of TV in there. There's mirrors. They reference the Annabelle doll a lot throughout the movie. Judy, the daughter, is very afraid, obviously, of Annabelle. There's kind of some jokes. Like, if you haven't watched the rest of the Conjuring franchise, this is what I was going to say. You wouldn't have had to have seen the rest of the movies to watch this movie and understand it. Like, you could go in and not have seen any of the other Conjuring movies and be just fine watching this movie. But there would be some things you wouldn't understand. At the very end of the movie, they have cameo roles from, like, everybody that played prominent parts in the past movies. And then also there's some jokes throughout it. Like, at one point, a little girl asks the daughter, she's, like, playing with this doll, and she says, "Do you like dolls?" to Judy. And Judy's like, "No, I don't like dolls." And the movie theater just, like, erupted because they're thinking about Annabelle, the possessed doll. But you don't need to have seen the previous movies to, like, watch this one and enjoy it. But there were a lot of elements about it that reminded me of, like, Poltergeist. Poltergeist still scares me to this day. I think it's more of a humorous. I don't think it's like a parody humorous, but there's a lot of jokes in the original Poltergeist. This is much darker and scarier. I thought it was really, really well done. On a scale of 1 to 10, I probably would give it, I mean, I have a hard time giving 8, 9s, and 10s, but I would probably give this, I don't know, a 7.8, close to, I give it an 8. I give it an 8. I thought it was a solid horror movie. I thought it was a good ending to the franchise. Would I want to watch it again? I'm good not seeing it again. Like I love any of the Halloween franchises. I thought this was good. I thought if you are a lover of paranormal horror or you're a lover of the Conjuring franchise, definitely see it. There were a lot of jump scares in it. I don't think all of them were necessary or all of them were scary, but I thought it was really, really well done. I left there, my husband and I were talking about it, and I was like, this was really good. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, it was good. It was fun. It was a fun, scary movie to see on a Sunday afternoon. If there's a day that it's rainy and you're thinking about watching it, definitely a rainy, dark October day would be great to watch this. So anyway, let me know if you've seen it in the comment section below and what you thought about it. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.